Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for using my creator code whenever you purchase any Sims 4 DLC on the EA app or thesims.com. I receive a 5% commission each time you use my code, which means you're directly supporting me as a creator. I know there are a lot of codes floating around out there, so I am very grateful that you've chosen me to support in this way. Thank you so much. Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And we're continuing our builds for the Not So Berry challenge. And I am very excited about this one, as I am about every single one, honestly, because it's been so freaking fun to do this. It's pushing me outside of my comfort zone. I'm building things with like certain themes and colors and stuff that I probably never would have done if it weren't for building specifically for this challenge. So I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you all are too. But today, we're building for the Plum Generation, which is generation, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're like, oh my God, we're halfway through. So Plum Generation is Gen 5 for the Not So Berry challenge. And you can probably tell at this point, we're building an RV, which is super fun, like an RV, a camper, whatever you want to call it. But I thought this was really applicable for the description of the Plum Generation, so I'll read it for you right now. You've always been good at anything you tried. It's hard to choose a career, so why not try a few? You work as a doctor for much of your life, but as an adult, realize that your true dream is to become a professional dancer. You quit your job and you join the entertainer career. Basically, you're an indecisive oddball. But here's the kicker. So you have to live in 3 different worlds over the course of your life for the Plum Generation. And I thought, why not have something more portable then, like a camper or an RV? It seemed like a fun take on it. I don't know if other people have done this as well, but I asked everybody over on the post tab here on YouTube, what world do you think we should start in as well? And I have to admit, you all gave me great suggestions. I think the winner overall was Del Sol Valley. But I figured since we were building a camper, I could build it pretty much anywhere. So I apologize, but I did choose to build it in Copperdale instead of a majority of the suggestions. I think there was maybe one suggestion for Copperdale. It just seemed to fit here, so I just went with it. I wanted it to be like this little camper in the woods, and there's other rationale for this as well. So the careers that your sim has to go through, they have to be in the fast food career, the doctor career, and then the entertainer career. Now with the very first one, fast food, I was thinking maybe they worked at one of the stalls on the pier in Copperdale. I just liked the idea. They worked at like a little diner or something like that in Copperdale. It just really seemed to fit the vibe. And this lot, Little Falls Nook, is a 20 by 20, I think it is. And since it was a camper, it was going to have such a small footprint that I didn't want to build on one of the, let's be honest, ginormous lots in Del Sol Valley because they're huge for no reason. The smaller ones are in like the town center, and I wasn't about to plop a camper there. It just didn't really seem to fit, at least for the build initially. But yeah, so I decided to start in Copperdale. So maybe they worked on the pier and like fast food and whatnot, and then eventually they'll move to their next world, taking their RV with them, because that's how they started. They'll enter the doctor career. They'll do that for a majority of their life. Maybe they'll ditch the camper at that point and purchase property when they move to Del Sol Valley to be in the entertainer career, because that seemed to make sense. I think that world makes sense for that final career decision, right? But that was my logic, so hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully it's at least fun. You obviously all don't have to agree, but I really enjoyed this build, but it was challenging because we do not have a lot of like plum colored things in the game. We have a lot of purple, I'd say, but it's variations of purple, and some of them are so vibrant. They were offensive to my eyeballs. I literally just couldn't use a lot of them. So I tried to tie in some purple elements outside. But again, for a majority of these Not So Berry builds, I haven't been color blocking them. Like, they're not all rose colored or it's not all yellow. There's maybe nods to the color of the gen on the interior or the exterior or both, but I haven't gone too heavy, I don't think, with color. I think the heaviest I've gone is likely rose gen and gray gen, because those colors are just so prominent in the game and it was easy to do and not make it feel forced. I think that's the big thing, is making it feel forced. Like, I just couldn't do it. So for this, you know, on the roof of the RV, we have like these purple solar panels. I have these purple and yellow folding chairs right next to the cooler near the door. And there's just things like that on the exterior. Inside, though, I do use a lot of Dream Home Decorator because we have that like plummy pink color for a lot of the furniture, and it worked. And on the exterior, as you saw, I used like purple flowers. So I was trying to tie in the color of plum without going too overboard or forcing it too much. So this is the color I was referring to. I would say that the color of this desk from Lovestruck is probably like the most plum color that we have in the game. And we do not have a lot of objects that are that color, number one, or that are a consistent style. So it was like really hard to try to do this. And at first, I'll be frank, I was not a huge fan of the interior that I ended up doing. I really wasn't. I knew it was going to be a challenge because it was a small space, but I was like, I personally don't like this color scheme, and I don't like, I just didn't like the style of it. It didn't really feel like an RV, but I guess that's not really fair because an RV interior can be whatever the heck you want it to be. However, I did think that I was at least being clever with some what is it called? Some clever space utilization. There we go. By using a lofted bed and tossing the desk underneath it. Now, I was also trying to think, because the sim for the Plum Generation, you actually have to master the dance skill and 2 other skills of your choosing, achieving at least level 8 in 6 skills. A lot of skills that you have to work on here. So obviously we have the kitchen. You could do cooking and baking, right? Great, gourmet cooking. That's already 3 skills if you want to do that. I added a computer because you can work on a ton of different skills via the computer. Outside, we have gardening plots. And I think I did it off camera actually. I put a little space on top of the RV that you can access via a ladder. And I added a yoga mat and a telescope. So again, 2 more skills like wellness and logic that your sim could pursue. And I think for the doctor career, you need logic anyway. I think you do. You also have to complete the Renaissance sim aspiration. So there's probably some skills associated with that as well. Just a lot of skill building needs to take place, and I knew that was going to be a challenge in a space so small, but I added a stereo for that dance skill. You also have the television because you can raise skills doing that as well. And there's a bookcase because you can then buy books to master any skill that you would like. I didn't add a ton of skill building items per se because I just didn't have the space and it wasn't fitting the aesthetic and the vibe I was going for with this build. But I wanted to add ample opportunities for your sim to be able to have access to skill building media, if you will. I'm not as lost for words today. I feel like I usually am, and I'm not as lost for words today. It feels kind of nice. But as you can see, we have a little dining space. At the kitchen, there is only the mini fridge and the countertop. Well, technically it's on top of the fridge though, but the countertop like convection oven thing that came with the Dream Home Decorator. It's perfect because it acts like an oven and does it act like a stove? I don't know. You can make a lot more than just your quick meals out of the little mini fridge though. That was important to me. And then there's of course the sink, and the bathroom's actually a pretty full bathroom, which I was surprised I was able to do. And then I just use, like I said, a lot of Dream Home Decorator because this is as close to plum as I could get comfortably for an interior. It wasn't working. A lot of the other objects I pulled out were like this really vibrant, bright purple, and that gave less plum vibes than the kind of like pinky plum we have with the Dream Home Decorator stuff. I hope that makes sense. I'm really trying to validate my choice of colors because it was hard. We really don't have that much in game, I think, that fits. And again, I'm not trying to color block these builds that much. I'm not trying to make them super duper oversaturated with that Jen's color, but there's kind of a balance. There's like greens and plums in here because of that rug from, again, Dream Home Decorator. But yeah, the main living space is done, and now we're just furnishing the bathroom. And I'm actually using some of the, the sleek bathroom kit, whatever that new kit was that we got. It's beautiful. Love a lot of the items. I think I only used a couple in here just because I still wanted it to look like an RV, but that is pretty much it for this build. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
You down, and I know that I was not always around. I made you feel alone. You spent most of your nights just sitting on your own. I should have done so much more, like giving you the things you asked me for. And I know I was wrong. It's what I try to tell you.